Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is an Emmy-winning actor you know from shows like The Americans, Perry Mason, and The Beast in Me. He currently stars in Widow's Bay, which premieres April 29th on Apple TV. Let's take a look.
I was talking to the guy on the ferry, and he said something odd.
What was that?
He said bad things happen here.
You know, Arthur, there is something about these seafaring towns, the superstitions, their tall tales. Maybe it's that stories help pass a long day at sea. I don't know, but I find it charming myself.
Was there cannibalism?
No.
Well, the article behind you. Forced inside the church, they immediately turned to cannibalism.
I don't think that's right.
I mean, it's sort of framed article inside the Historical Society.
Yeah.
Please welcome back to the show our friend Matthew Rhys. Hello, friend.
How are you?
We were lamenting backstage. It's been 3 years since you've been on the show.
And I thought I did something wrong. Did I do something wrong?
No, well, I think what you did
was
wrong is you saw me socially in the world.
And then I just assumed I'd been on.
And I assumed as well, so I didn't go out of my way. Well, because we had
I told you stories and you laughed.
And I was like, and I felt in my mind, I'm like, we've done this.
We danced.
We had a very special evening. You bought a boat from the 1930s.
Yeah.
It was called the Rarebit.
It was.
A gorgeous boat.
Gorgeous boat.
You decided to sell it, and I went on your final voyage.
You did. You were on the talisman for the final voyage.
And it must have been heartbreaking to sell it. Was it hard when that day came?
What's happened? They withdrew from the sale.
Oh, really?
She is still currently for sale. Should anyone wish to purchase an old antique?
But Matthew, this is years ago that you're saying this is not selling like hotcakes.
This is not a hot cake that's being sold.
When you now look back, do you realize how excited the person who you bought it from was?
Yes, this is what I'm realizing. So there's not many people in the world who buy very old wooden boats. I restored the boat. But there's not many people who buy them for the sole reason. This is why it almost cost me my marriage, because you just kind of go, I just got to go back to the boat. Something's happened again.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing a good sales pitch here, actually.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful boat. She's sound. She's sound. I am not, but she is sound.
Yeah, because I remember saying to your partner, Carrie, like how I'm like, God, it's so cool that Matthew bought this boat. And she was, yeah. She's
It
like,
was
she's
a
like,
very Larry David answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about how your mother's side of the family is very nautical. Was she at least happy when you bought a boat?
No.
Okay.
Because for the sole reason they're all sailors. And when I said, I bought an old wooden boat. And they were like, oh, for a minute then I thought you said an old wooden boat. I went, yeah, that would be stupid, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So they're not that happy.
Well, they were like, more fool you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
This show, this takes place on a New England island.
Yes.
It's a wonderful show.
Thank you.
Very nautical themed as well.
Yes.
Do you enjoy that element of it?
Love it. We got to shoot in places like Gloucester and Rockport. You know, I was in my natural element. But it's. I'm not saying it's an enormous departure for me, but I don't do comedy. This is dare I say, a comedy horror.
Yeah.
A tough tone to crack. I've done some horrific performances in my past.
They were very funny to watch.
And yes, people laughed in the wrong places. Yes.
It's very funny. You're very funny in it.
Well, thanks very much.
Do you feel like there's when you're in a New England town, a seafaring New England town, do you feel a connection to Wales? Do you feel there's a similarity?
I do. Massachusetts, New England reminded me enormously. The people reminded me. The place reminded me enormously of home. So I felt right at home with those salty people shouting, "Get out of here!" And they're like, "Oh, they're talking to me."
Yeah, that's
like, oh, sorry.
Nothing makes you feel more at home in New England when people are yelling at you to leave.
Leave.
Yeah.
Or if you say you live in New York. That I found I should never say in Massachusetts.
No.
Yes.
Especially when you have the benefit of a non-New York accent. Like, to bring it up is idiotic.
They were just like, oh, leave now before we burn you.
Did you, it's a show, obviously, there's a horror element.
Yes.
And, the people in the town are very superstitious.
They are indeed.
Are the Welsh the superstitious people?
You couldn't throw a stone in Wales without there being a superstition behind it, or some kind of myth or legend or fable or some kind of warlock and wizard that fought a dragon that killed someone. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's like, let's let it go with the myths and legends.
You mentioned this is a comedy. It's very funny. There's an episode where your character's on mushrooms.
Yes.
It's a very funny performance.
Well, thanks very much.
Did you do any research?
No.
No?
Yes. I'm a fun guy.
Everybody says you're a fun guy.
Yes, that was the mushroom joke.
Yeah. You also...
Yeah. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. See, I grew up in a time... I grew up in a time... Before I began... When I started acting, YouTube wasn't around. We used to go to places to research with a notebook and like a tape recorder.
Yeah.
Now you just go... You look at YouTube, you go... People on mushrooms, and it comes up.
And so you just watch YouTube?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I watch all kinds of tests on people with hallucinogens, and I went, oh, God, this is so cruel. But I stole all of it.
You stole it?
All of it.
I think they'd appreciate it.
But something good came of it.
I think something good came of it.
That's what I wrote to them.
In the comment section?
Yes. Thank you for your service.
All right, so you know how to ride a horse, which I'm shocked by. But this was not a skill you learned in Wales.
It was a skill I learned in Wales.
It was? Okay.
Yes. I'm sort of kind of... On Dad's side of the family, they're all farmers. And they had... Some of them had horses, and we would just jump on and, teach ourselves. Really.
So you knew enough about riding horses that when you got invited to a rodeo competition recently, you said yes.
I said, of course I'll do a rodeo. Show me your American ways.
How did a rodeo invite even come across your desk?
So, a friend of mine, it's Taylor Sheridan and his wife. They do an incredible charity event for UT Southwestern, and it's a cutting competition. Did you know what cutting is?
Yeah,
I didn't.
Very few, yeah.
Yes, well, they said, come do cutting. And I went, what does that mean?
Right.
They said, we cut cows. I was like, that's barbaric! What about these poor cows?
Yeah.
I thought we'd have machetes and box cutters, and we'd be like, get the cows! It's not. It's not. You cut one calf or steer from the herd and then try and keep it away from the herd.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So this is more than just riding a horse.
More than riding a horse, I found out.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like dancing. It's like horse dancing.
All right, so...
So
here's, these are photos. You actually look like you know what you're doing there.
I looked like I knew what on the boat.
Yeah. That's true. Is this...
You shouldn't applaud, because I dress up for a living.
Is this you getting a belt buckle? That's what it looks like to me.
Oh, you mean this old thing?
Oh, my God. Really amazing.
I have not taken that off in 2 weeks.
Celebrity cutting. So you were in Fort Worth, Texas. No joke.
It was Taylor Sheridan and his wife. It was a kind of pro celebrity. So celebrities were paired with real professional cutters.
Yep.
And then your combined score was,
Gotcha.
what won it. But the reason I was invited is because a dear friend of mine who played my brother on a show called Brothers and Sisters, who's in a Taylor Sheridan show called Lioness, said, you like horses, why don't you come? So I came, and then in the tunnel before going out, I could see all these actors on Taylor Sheridan shows just looking at me like, what Taylor Sheridan show is he on?
Yeah.
So I sort of made one up.
Yeah.
I didn't.
There's a lot of Taylor...
I think Yellowstone.
You can make up a Taylor Sheridan. There's so many.
Right? They wouldn't know.
No.
They wouldn't know. And
Yeah.
I kind of went with that. I was like, don't worry about it. It's coming out. It's coming out.
Yellowstone 1934.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, I can't wait to see
2048.
There's one in the future?
Yeah, but we don't like to talk about it.
Wow.
Yes.
And not that far into the future.
No, just enough. Just enough. Yes. But just enough to travel back and say, we bought the wrong bit of land. Yeah.
So so Yellowstone 2048, there's actual time travel elements as well.
Yes, I come back and warn them about things.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't.
And Taylor's okay that you're gonna spoil this here.
He doesn't know yet. I'm gonna pitch it, but I think it's a winner.
All right, we actually have video of you on the cutting horse. Were you nervous?
Yay!
Were you nervous? All right.
I was terrified.
I would be terrified. I'm not judging you. I mean, I would never agree to do it. But here you are. And let me just say, I'm very impressed that you, Matthew Rhys, have a name that a rodeo caller can pronounce.
Oh, thank you, Matthew Rhys.
Matthew Rhys.
Matthew Rhys. In fairness, I don't have a vowel in my name.
No.
It was anyone's guess.
Until I was taught That's definitely how I said it as well. So.
I said it until I was 18, and my parents were like, it's not how we say our name.
Really?
What's wrong with you? I was like, oh.
You and your partner, Carrie, met on The Americans, one of my favorite shows of all time.
We did.
Fantastic show. I think a lot of us viewers of that show kind of discovered over the run of it, oh, you know, they're a couple in real life.
Yes.
The way the crew and the other cast found that out was
yeah.
not because of like some grand announcement.
No. Well, it was very unplanned. And I'll try and make this brief. What happened was, it was quite terrifying, actually, but we were together in an apartment, and she woke me up and said, I think there's someone in the apartment. I said, there's no one in the apartment. And then I heard someone saying something, and I went, oh, there's someone in the apartment. And then,
that is scary.
And then I thought, now, because it was early days, and I thought, whatever I do next might define the way she regards me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So there was a kind of a fire set, so I picked up a poker.
Yeah.
Instead of locking ourselves in the bathroom, calling 911, which we should do, I went, you stay here, I shall go out. And I think my classically trained pipes made them flee, thankfully.
Yeah.
So they fled. Anyway, they caught them very quickly, apprehended them. Kerry filed a report, and then the DA, I think, was retiring, and they were like, oh, we'd love to bring you your things back and present them to you on set and do a photograph of the DA, and the NYPD officers who caught them. And she's like, no, that's all right. I'll just come to a precinct to pick them up. It's like, no, we'll come to set and we'll take a photograph and present them to you. And she's like, please don't. So they very kindly, and God bless them, and thank you for the service, came to set and held up a bag and went, we caught them, and here's her bag. And then the young PA who's next to me, indeed, went, no, that's Matthew's bag. And I was like, shut up! And then taken out, and here's her watch. And like, no, that's Matthew's watch. I was like, shut up! And lo, it came to pass that we were together.
I mean, that way you don't have to overthink it. You know what? You just leave it.
Everyone knows, one clean sweep, didn't have to hire a publicist, it was great.
I think anytime you want to tell people about a new relationship, just leave it to the NYPD.
Leave it, let them turn up.
Let the police turn up and explain it.
Yes, exactly.
Congrats on the show.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, as always.
Matthew Rhys, everybody. Widow's Bay premieres April 29th on Apple TV. We'll be right back with Sabina Rubin.